Councilwoman Kaur.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank everyone for coming today, and I appreciate the discussion that was had. The discussion that we had at PCDC also, I believe, was an important one, and I want to thank my colleagues who voted unanimously to move this ordinance that's proposed for you as item 9 out of PCDC today. And so in that discussion, the discussion that was had was we want to make sure that, as you said, not a single veteran does not have a housing option for them. We also looked at the number of folks that actually have VASH vouchers and the numbers that aren't used. And so out of the 800 VASH vouchers that are currently in place, there are a lot of systemic issues that were brought up by many of you that prevent people from actually being able to get more access to vouchers and getting the system to work. The problem is not that our folks don't want to help a veteran and make sure they have a place to stay. The problem is that the system is broken, that it is going to take someone 3 months to get a payment for a voucher, that they may not be able to keep their house if they have to do that, right? So the compromise that we made allows for the businesses that, and I understand we heard a business owner speak today, and that business owner will be affected, but quite frankly, the businesses have a little bit more cushion than a single person renting out their house who may, if they have to go 3 months without payment, not be able to make their mortgage payment, and then they lose their home. And so what's important for us is to figure out how can we make sure we are addressing the problem while ensuring that we're not unintendedly hurting someone else while we're doing that. And so this compromise actually brings 257,000 units at the minimum online. That's that's more than half of the available rentals, and it includes all of the additional single families that are owned by a business that has multiple single family rentals. So you are now able to go access more than 250,000 units across the city if we pass this ordinance, this ordinance as it is today. On top of that, the other thing that we have to commit to is helping those of you that need ways to find homes. So one of the things we talked about at PCDC is having a housing navigator on the military affairs team with General Ayala. That is important because sometimes, to the point that was brought up, sometimes it's difficult to know how do I know where I can go? How do I know how to be able to access the units at, for example, Valor Hill? One of you all brought up saying that we need to take those old schools that the school districts are getting rid of and make them into veteran housing. I absolutely agree, and 5 of us are on the Housing Trust Board, and we actually just created a whole veteran housing complex that was talked about at Valor Hill, and they have spots open and are willing, the whole program is to accept vouchers. So we can create a holistic system that will help every single veteran with the voucher get into a home without creating unintended consequences. And that's why we're bringing it back to PCDC in 6 months, because as was stated, we can go out, see where these folks are having struggles, and then determine if it's working. Great. We've already seen that number drop from what it was like 2 months ago at 89 people without voucher usage to 51, I think was in the presentation today. So that number is dropping every single day as we move on. So I am actually really proud of what PCDC came up with, because it's making sure that we're going to have a source of income protection. If we pass this tomorrow morning, there will be a source of income protection in over half of the units in all of San Antonio. And so I would say that at least getting us to a place where it's a compromise is something that we should and I'll be proud of. And I know Myra works for choice for schools, and we think we need choice. We need choice for all of our families, and we absolutely do. We need choice, and that is what hopefully this will give you guys more of. Thank you, Mayor.